always had to work hard just to get to where I wanted to be here now. So I wasn't really the best at most of the things. So that's kind of what made me how I am today, be mentally strong, especially coming from my high school because we weren't the most talented. And so, just building their relationships and getting better. Having the faith here, adding that aspect in it. I especially grew my faith here. Being baptized by him and Danny was a great experience. And so just having all of those aspects together and getting your education and playing sports, I mean, what could you ask for? For sure, Women College World Series. That is mainly the goal that I have for myself and for the team, just to be back there, and especially for these seniors that have given it all that they have for the time they've been. I just feel like that's where we need to be at the end of the year.
Shay, welcome to the Sic Em Podcast. Good to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I say Shay. Is that okay?
Yeah,
is
that's
it Shaylon?
fine.
Is it? How many variations are there of Shaylon?
Just if it's someone serious, they call me by my full name.
Right.
If they're not, they just call me Shay.
Shay's more familiar, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Well, fun to visit with you. Softball season in full swing now. We'll talk about that, but let's go back to the beginning. Growing up, was softball your sport, or what do you remember early on about sports?
Well, growing up, my parents were like, we're going to put her in sports, but we don't know what she's going to end up falling in love with. So I played soccer, I played basketball. My family's a big basketball family.
Okay.
And then they put me in softball because my cousin was like, hey, just come out. And so then I did it, and I ended up falling in love with it, and kind of started around when I was like 8 years old. So then just kept going.
Nice. Very good. What about your family? Were they sports fans and participants also?
Yes. My dad played basketball in college, and then some of my cousins, they played at UCA and they played in college. Basically they're just real basketball fans.
Really?
And then
Yeah.
I came in and started playing softball, and they were like, oh, this is something different. And then it's kind of now like my younger cousins are kind of following in my footsteps playing softball. So it's cool to see.
There you go.
Yeah.
Where'd your dad play?
He played at Bipsy.
Bipsy, okay.
Yeah.
And you said UCA, is that Central Arkansas?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So you started softball, you said when you were about 8 years old. Was it immediately you loved that and you thought, ooh, I like this one better than the others?
Yeah, I don't even think it was immediate. I started doing basketball and softball, and those were like my first two. But then basketball is a lot of running. And so I was not a big fan of running. And then I just kind of started working more at softball, and that just became something that I continued to love.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
When do you remember your first home run?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Probably at age 8, probably. Might have been an inside the Parker at age 8, but probably pretty early there. Were you, when you started with softball, were you always the best player on your team? Do you remember that?
No, I actually wasn't.
Yeah.
My team, we were pretty good,
Really?
and in the Katy area, and so I always had to work hard just to get to where I wanted to be here now. So I wasn't really the best at most of the things. So,
I gotcha.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that Katy area, probably a lot of good teams and some good leagues there.
Yeah, for sure. I was playing in KGSA, like Katy, the league, and a lot of people have actually came from the Katy area, having Katy High School and stuff like that. So a lot of them started in that league, and then we just continued to play. And now a bunch of us are playing D1 softball.
Nice.
So,
That's
yeah.
fun. Maid Creek High School for you. What was your high school career like?
My high school career was a ride.
Really?
Freshman year, I kind of started as playing third base, corners first. And then as it went on, I was like becoming the pitcher sophomore, junior, and senior year. Had a great high school coach, someone that I still love to this day, still look up to. And learned a lot in that time. So that's kind of what made me how I am today, be mentally strong, especially coming from my high school because we weren't the most talented. And so just building their relationships and getting better. So.
Good. Who was your high school coach?
Jill Voss.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Left a good mark on you there,
Yes,
huh?
for sure.
Good. So the team, you're excelling, you're doing great. Team was average or?
Honestly, we were below average, but our coach, she was really good because she came from a select and she had the softball background. So we started every year from square one, like learning how to throw, and then getting back up there. Yes. And we ended up, everyone ended up being pretty good by the time that season ended, but we were below average starting and then slowly started to get average.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. So you're doing well at Maid Creek, start getting noticed by schools. When and who was the first school that made contact with you recruiting wise?
Honestly, I did not have that many.
Really?
I had a couple that would invite me to different camps and stuff. But ultimately, it was SFA at the end of the day. And that was honestly by accident, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My high school coach knew the SFA coach at the time. And my SFA coach was like, hey, do you have anyone that can hit and pitch? She was like, oh, yeah, like I actually do. And that's how that came to be. So she really didn't even see me play. She just took the chance on me.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's a good story.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And worked out well for you there. What was that transition like from high school to college?
It was kind of big for me just because having to kind of maneuver around having actually school and softball, that was a lot for me. And I remember one of the first times I stepped on campus, she was like, okay, we're going to have a signs test. And I'm like, a signs test? Like, why do we need to know the signs? Like that, to where when we were getting wristbands, and then I ended up failing the science test because I was studying for one of my tests for actual school. And that was like when she was like, you need to find a happy medium for both. And so that's when I, of course, was looking into the signs and then trying to say in my books, and it ended up paying off in the long run.
Very good. What a great story. If I got the time right, did you go through COVID when you were there at SFA?
Yes, it was my very first year.
What was that like?
It was crazy. SFA was, at the time, we were having a very good season. I think we were almost undefeated. Maybe we lost one game. And we had a bunch of the seniors that were very big impacts on the team. And so for that season was definitely, and COVID was definitely a heartbreak for the team. But it was crazy. I feel like it was almost like it was good and it was bad at the same time, because for the team, we had to find our identity without those seniors. So I feel like that was good in that sense. But then we also really loved the seniors because it was like 5 of them starting at the time. Wow. So it was a big turnaround for us, for sure.
Yeah. I remember here, I think Baylor was on a road trip, and all of a sudden we're not playing, season's over. And it was just so immediate like that. That was crazy, wasn't it?
It was super crazy. We were actually at home at the time, and we had played one game, and then the next day our coach came in and was like, the season's done.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over, yeah.
Well, you worked through that, thankfully, and 2021 was a great season for you. 15 home runs, Southland Conference Hitter of the Year. What a great year for you. Yeah.
That was definitely too kind of being able to grow in that sense from COVID to that year, and especially helping the team out and getting SFA back to, where we were supposed to be. So.
Right. Was it a, just steady improvement on your part, or was there a moment when you felt like, ooh, I'm good at this?
Yeah. I feel like it was kind of like a steady improvement. Those coaches at SFA, they were worked really hard with me, and we watched a lot of film on pitchers. So, we really honed in on different pitches that we wanted to hunt. So I think that just worked out in my favor for sure.
Great. Yeah. You decided to enter the transfer portal. What was your thought process there?
At SFA, I loved it, but I felt like I could do something better for myself. And so it was interesting because the coach at SFA ended up leaving that
really?
at the same year and going to New Mexico. And so it was kind of like perfect timing because I really love the coaches there. And so I don't know, it was like perfect. I was just like, I wanted a different change of scenery, something that I felt like I was better and could help get to like playing my dream. So that's why I took the chance.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm curious, as you go into the portal, are there places you think in your mind, ooh, I'd like to go there, or this would be a fun place to be? Or are you just wide open to whoever might contact you?
I did have some places where I was like, oh, I feel like I can make an impact here and want to go there. But it was kind of just like wide open for me. I did not even know where I was going to go. I was like, I don't have any clue, like any signs. Like I did not even know. So Baylor was for sure. Baylor was for sure surprising for me when Coach Moore reached out. But
good. Yeah. So that was kind of out of the blue. You hadn't really had any contact with Baylor before?
No.
Good.
Yeah.
What was that like? First contact? What's the pitch from Baylor?
The first contact from Coach Moore, he actually just texted me. I was like, "Hey, this is Coach Moore from Baylor. I would like to talk to you real quick." So had that phone call, and he was just saying that he felt like I could make an impact here, and that first base, they had just lost their first baseman, so that was a place that I can start and work at to earn the spot. And yeah, that's kind of how it went.
Nice. So you're from Texas. I mean, you're from Katy. You knew about Baylor, right? Did you know much about Baylor athletics or Baylor softball?
For sure. Baylor softball, for sure. Knowing having those past World Series,
right.
Appearances and seeing that they were in Texas, when me being the only child. And so it's just three of us. And so it was cool to be close to home and, kind of be in a program where there's so much history, and having Coach Moore, he's been through it all,
Right.
So it's like, it was perfect.
Good. How was that transition for you from Nacogdoches to Waco?
It was great because, Nacogdoches is like 2 streets. So it was great coming from Nacogdoches here. Not really just a change in scenery, but love the school, love everything academics has to offer in athletics.
Yeah.
So.
I would say closer to home, but I'm not sure. Maybe
it's like
about the same.
Yeah, it's the same.
That's what, So good to Waco and Baylor, and you step right in. And when you got here and you're getting acclimated, what was it you discovered about Baylor or Baylor softball that maybe you didn't know until you got here?
Well, the first thing was Coach Moore. Yeah. We're playing against them from SFA here. Coach Moore just seemed like he was so mean. And I'm just like, I just cannot see myself playing for him. He just looked like he's so mean, but he's a girl dad. Like we say girl dad, he's always, making jokes, always making us laugh, pushes us, of course, to be the best that we can be. But at the end of the day, he just loves us. And then having the faith here, adding that aspect in it. I especially grew my faith here. Being baptized by him and Danny was a great experience. And so just having all of those aspects together and getting your education and playing sports, I mean, what could you ask for?
Oh, that's tremendous. And did you at Stephen F. Austin play against Baylor?
Yes.
You did, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Just once or more than once?
I think we played against each other like twice.
How'd you do?
Good.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
So probably our coaches knew about you from scouting reports going against SFA.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you're here, you step in at first base, and you mentioned Coach Moore, and you get to know him and know really what he is as a person. How about Hoot also? You get here and you discover Hoot.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Well, on my visit, he was actually in California.
Oh, really?
With one of the girls, Amber, that came here. And so I just was talking to him on the phone. So I never knew how funny he was or anything until we got here. And he was like, "Hey, I'm who?" And I'm like, "Who?" Like,
Right.
your name. So, but
it fits.
Yes, it does fit for sure. And then just being around him and his contagious energy and feeding that into the hitters, it was great. It was funny.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I love, you mentioned the faith aspect, and you were baptized during your time here. That is such a real part of Baylor. and specifically the softball program, isn't it?
Yes. Here for especially the softball program, it was like 5 of us, I think, that got baptized whenever I got baptized. And we always have our retreat where we start the season and just getting into the word. And that's like sets the tone for everything that we do going out throughout the season. And we just go back and look on that time and what we learned and what we talked about and continuing to put it into our play. And so just having that and then multiple girls coming in, getting baptized. And even this year we had like 3 girls get baptized. So we're just trying to continue the train here.
Man, that's great.
Yeah.
That is a huge part of Baylor, a huge part of this softball program. Congratulations last year. What a great year. I mean, it's history. And coaches may get mad at me for even bringing this up because I know y'all have said this past history, we don't talk about it, but the win over Oklahoma last year, you had the home run. What a huge win that was for y'all.
Yeah, it was for sure big. Baylor playing Oklahoma. I heard about the times that they played them and how the fans were and how the games went. And so we just went into there optimistic, knowing that we can play with anybody. And I feel like as a team, we had confidence going into that game, knowing that we have nothing to lose at this point. And so we went in and seeing how we were playing, we're like, we can hang with these guys. We can hang with anyone in the country. And so that just continued on through the season. And I feel like it has made an impact with us going into the season too.
Yeah, real source of confidence, I would think. And it's funny, as the season went on, Oklahoma won the World Series and their record was, ended up 61-1. Everybody says, who was the one? Well, it was Baylor. Baylor kept getting brought up, right, even at the World Series, because you were the one team that beat OU last year.
Yeah, it was great. I used to see a bunch of tweets on Twitter saying like, oh, gosh, I wonder how Baylor feels right now being that one team. And it's like, we're fine. Yeah.
All Big 12 first team last year. Congratulations on that. But you had to play. I mean, you weren't 100% health-wise last year, were you?
No, yeah. Having that torn labrum, I think it was maybe our first conference series or second conference series against Oklahoma State. That was a real eye-opening time for me, just because I knew how well the team was doing and then my season was going. And so, it was a really big change for me, having to change some things in my swing and try to figure out how I was going to be able to maneuver it. But I wanted to play for the team and help us get to, Oklahoma City and just have that road. So
yeah, I would think with that injury, torn labrum, nobody would have thought twice if you'd said, I'm done for the year, I got to get it fixed and be better for next year. But you played through that. That couldn't have been easy.
Yeah, no, I definitely had to, I had a Sully on, so something that I would try to keep my shoulder in place so it wouldn't, because having the torn labrum, my shoulder would slip in and out. Ugh. So depending on where the pitch was or the swing, I would sometimes take a little breather in the box because it would pop in and out. But yeah, but I mean, I was just trying to get through it, at that point. I was not even really worried about the shoulder at that point. I was like, you're just going to get through it.
Can't hurt it anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Was there a harness or something that you can wear to kind of keep it from extending?
Yeah. It was, so the Sully, I had straps that would go across.
Oh, that's right.
To keep it stuck in place.
Gotcha.
So.
And you're playing first base, and you hope all the throws are right here.
Right, yeah.
But some of them are up here. You got to stretch. That couldn't have been easy either.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I'm like, hey, guys, don't forget that I still have this on. I can't get up that high no more.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So surgery off season. Mm-hmm. Did you have it pretty soon?
Yes, I had it June 19th in Houston. And so it was right around... I got it done I think on a Tuesday. Okay. So I was able to get that, was out, actually had very good results coming out. My surgery was only 30 minutes. Oh, nice. So it was pretty quick. And my range of motion out of the surgery, they were like, you need to stay in the sling probably for an extra 2 weeks because you look really great. And so my process, of course, it was hard, but it was nothing that I couldn't get through.
Nice. Yeah. Very good. 100% now? Mm-hmm. Good.
Yeah.
No lingering effects from that at all?
No, none.
Woo, thank the Lord for that.
For sure.
That is great. So last year also Salt Lake City for the regionals. What was that experience like for you?
It was great. That was my first time ever playing in Utah, and I think that was the team's first time playing in Utah. So it was also having the scenery and just getting our feet back into the regionals. I think that's what Coach Moore, he was like, we need to get back there because that's where Baylor softball deserves to be. And so getting that experience, and he was just like, y'all need to keep using this and just so we can build on it next year. So that was mainly what that Utah experience was about.
That's great. It's a great experience, isn't it? And is that something that you go through and it motivates you and you want to make sure you get back to the NCAA tournament again this year?
Yeah, for sure. Having that experience in that environment that they had at Utah was great. And it definitely helped us going into this season playing California, where it was a nice crowd there, and then just continuing to use that and just being in those situations, having those tough situations with the teams that we were playing and at the high level definitely came back to this year.
Good. What do you think about the Big 12 Conference in softball? Some really good teams.
Oh, yeah, I definitely think we're the best. Our conference, they're so good. The pitching's so good. The hitters are so good. And every day, I feel like every weekend series, I feel like we're playing in like the World Series or something.
Right.
And so having this conference is for sure, helping us get through the season. Not only getting experience, but knowing that we have those top competitions. You can't get any better than that. Yeah. And so that's just helping us get to have more experience. So as we get to May and those, big times that we can just pull through. So.
Good. At one point early in the season, one of the polls had Oklahoma 1, Texas 2, Oklahoma State 3. So the top 3 teams in the nation were Big 12 schools.
Yeah, that's huge for us, especially in the Big 12 conference, and knowing that we get to play those teams. I mean, what more do you want right now than playing the top 3 teams in the country?
Good. So. What are your thoughts about this year's team as we record this still early in the season? But it seems like y'all are coming together really well.
Yeah, we're definitely fighters. As we've seen in California, this team does not give up. We have each other's backs. We hit the fan a couple times and we're like, okay, let's get back together. Let's get back on pulling in the right direction. So I feel like this team, we're definitely pulling in the right direction. We have so many pieces that we can come off the bench that we have playing in the field, and young, old, like it does not matter. You got the whole 9 right there in the dugout. So.
Wow. And you're one of the old hands now, right?
I know, yeah.
Do you take on the role as a leader? Does it happen naturally? Do you like that role? Do you like being looked at as a team leader?
Sometimes yes and no.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like more of me is like naturally. I don't really like to do the talking that much. I kind of just like to lead by example and then let our seniors do the talking.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You're a very good talker also, if need be. What you've been here a couple years now. What does it mean to be a Baylor Bear?
More than I can even say. Just being here and having this experience, being a Baylor Bear, and getting this great education, being able to play at the highest level, and honestly going through those different through the different levels, going from high school to SFA to here, it's just a really surreal moment for me. So.
Any goals for this year for yourself personally or for the team you can share with us?
For sure, Women College World Series. That is mainly the goal that I have for myself and for the team, just to be back there, and especially for these seniors that have given it all that they have for the time they've been. I just feel like that's where we need to be at the end of the year.
That's great. That has turned into such a huge event. It is so great. I mean, ESPN's kind of helped blow it up. But have you ever been just to watch?
No.
Yeah.
So I want to be, the first time I go, I want to be playing.
That's good. Well, let's hope you end the season there.
Yes, sir.
In the Women's College World Series. Softball, long days sometimes, long practices. games sometimes stretch out. If there's a lot of reviews, sometimes makes the game last a little longer. What's your secret? How do you stay focused when you're in a game?
So on all of our cleats, we have this saying called frog. And so frog means forever relying on God. And so that's kind of my mindset through the whole game, and just that focal point. So before I step in the box, like I'm looking at my cleat, looking at that. And even when I'm out in the field, and I feel like, just having that and then having my teammates making me laugh, that kind of keeps me loose and stuff. So
very nice. Who's the biggest jokester on your team?
Oh my gosh, Cindy Colazos.
Oh, really?
Yes.
She's number one.
She's number one.
All right. What's the deal with Sydney and her throws back from behind the plate?
Oh gosh.
What is that?
I don't know. She gets her miles in. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, she really does.
Yeah.
Because she walks out in front of the plate and then just kind of soft toss back out there. But she's the biggest jokester.
Yes, for sure.
That's good. Very good. What about away from softball? What do you like to do not involving softball? Any hobbies?
I like to sleep. I like to sleep, and then I've honestly starting to like to cook. I like to cook a lot of different things, and most of the time, if I'm not doing softball, sometimes I'm with my teammates, just chilling and just enjoying small talk. So
nice.
Yeah.
Do you collect anything?
No.
Have you ever?
I'm
not really.
A collector.
All righty, I got you. What's your major?
I am a health leisure kinesiology major,
Okay.
but I'm going to go get my master's.
Okay.
So hopefully, I think I'm going to try to do that in public health. But I want to do something in the medical field in the future.
Nice.
So that's where I'm going.
Good. Mm-hmm. And going through the labrum surgery, that was kind of a part of your major.
Yeah, for sure.
Very good. All right. Question we like to ask everybody to wrap up the Sic Em Podcast. When your time at Baylor is done, down the road, when your time is done, how would you hope fans remember you?
Just by being a good person on and off the field. I want to be a person that they can call if they, need be. And just even when they were going through tough times, I just want them to know that I was always here for them and to be an open ear.
Very nice. Yeah. Continued success.
Thank you.
Been fun so far. Good luck to y'all.
Thank you.